everyone. Welcome to Blue Jackets. It's a fun Blue Jackets themed podcast. My name is Kevin, and joining me tonight is my co-host, Hefty Duck. And as always, we always invite people to come on the show. So whether if they come on or not, that's a different story. There's always next time. But anyways, on today's show, there's some stuff going on in the Blue Jackets world that we're going to talk about. We have training camp news to talk about, some Damon Severson news to talk about. I'm going to call out some Blue Jackets fans that on Twitter and other social media websites that are. Well, I don't think that one was necessary.
The video people got to watch it. If you're listening to our podcast, feel free to check it out on YouTube and all the places. Sorry.
Yeah. Well. Okay. But
you see the video of what I just did.
Yeah. I don't think that was necessary, Hefty Duck. But that's besides the point. But anyway, but I'm going to call out some Blue Jackets a sentiment, a feeling that some Blue Jackets fans feel on social media. In my opinion, unfairly ripping on the Blue Jackets that they didn't do a jersey for their 25th season. I'm going to call that out. And we have some hockey jersey concepts and so much more. Welcome to the show, everyone. Let's get going.
Welcome in. Appreciate everyone for being here. I already mentioned it earlier, but if you want to listen to us on audio, check us out anywhere there's podcasts. We're there. I was just going through everywhere we were today, and there's like 10 I've never even heard of, but Google, Apple, Spotify, get it if you want to listen to us. Otherwise, also check us out on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. I tried to post it a lot around Twitter X today as well. We really enjoy our fans or our viewers on X, but we're trying to promote our YouTube channel a little bit more. I'm gonna try to start doing a couple little shorts here and there, nothing super crazy, but keep an eye out. I just got TikTok, so I'll be making stupid videos. But yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, all the things, Facebook, wherever, social media, check us out. We appreciate the support. So I was just asking you what you want to talk about first, but I actually have one thing first.
Yeah.
A huge shout out, congratulations to Captain Boone Jenner and wife Maggie on the birth of their son Tommy. There's a cute photo there on their Instagram. Instagram? Yeah, Instagram. It's Boone Jenner is just his name on Instagram. So congrats to you, sir, on the birth of Tommy, future Blue Jacket in training, possibly. Anyway, on to the first thing we're going to talk about.
Yes, but before I get to that, I too have something I just, would like to say just to get this, just to get this in there, which is this right here. So, gotta check it out. Check it out. Come join the march. Come join the march. Join Union Blue Soldiers for their annual March of the Union Army before the Blue Jackets home opener on Monday, October 13th, 2025, R-Bar, 6 o'clock p.m. One more time, join Union Blue Soldiers for their annual March of the Union Army on Monday, October 13th, 2025, R-Bar, 6 o'clock p.m. Join Union Blue Soldiers and your fellow Blue Jackets fans as we march on to Nationwide Arena to cheer on the Blue Jackets.
Hell yeah. It'll be a real fun time. We'll be there. We'll have little fun things to do and talk about and hang out with anyone. Can't wait to get some photos with some of y'all.
All right.
But
all right. Next up, got to give a shout out to the Reds and the Guardians for punching their ticket to the 2025 MLB playoffs. Let's go. Excitement.
Yeah.
Playoff baseball is coming to Ohio's baseball teams. Let's go, everyone.
Both
Let's
of
go.
them too. That's unreal.
Yeah,
Oh,
it just outstanding. Reds and Guardians having a good season so far. They've made the playoffs. Now let's just keep going. Let's see how far they can go, and maybe, hopefully, either the Guardians or the Reds can win the World Series. So, best of luck to your Reds and Guardians in the 2025 MLB playoffs.
hell yeah. So, can't wait to see that. Good luck to both teams. I'm a big fan of pretty much every Ohio sports team. Yes, even the ones down south. I don't care. It's Ohio. I like it. So we're big fans of that. We got baseball in October, baby. It's going to interfere with hockey season, but I tell you what, this is one of my favorite times of year. There's no we just have action, constant action. It's baseball. Like they start Tuesday. Guardians play the Detroit on Tuesday, and so like it's gonna be here before we know it. Opening night, gonna be here before we know it. But hey, we got a couple comments here real quick. If you too would like to leave some comments, we do get them from both Twitter and we get them from YouTube. The ones from YouTube we get a little quicker and we notice them a little bit sooner. The ones at X, make sure that you comment on not just on like the post, comment on like the stream video if you would like. We read most of them. We talk about most of them. If you want to derail our conversation, feel free. Anyway, we got Cocoa Puff Games coming in here. Hello from Dayton. Go Jackets. Hell yeah. Welcome in, Cocoa Puff Games. We appreciate you for being here.
Hey, I've had some fun times in Dayton, going to the Dayton Dragons games there. Those are a lot of fun. So I like Dayton.
I got some friends down there. It's a nice little place. Then we got Charles Stanforth in here coming again. Welcome back, Charles. Nice seeing you again this week. Says, yeah, maybe we can do something sometime on TikTok. Possibly. It's my personal one. I'll try to be on the Brew Jackets one too. My personal one is kind of for like my tattoo business stuff, but I'll be making some hockey posts here and there. We'll see. And we got Christopher Niebuhr. Nice last name. He says, go Reds, not so much Cleveland Gargoyles. Hey, that's all right, man. I can't blame you. I know the rivalry's real. I mean, when it comes down to it, when they play each other, I'm Guardians all the way, Cubs Reds all the way. But hey, we meet in the middle in Columbus.
That's right.
And
that's right.
That's where our hearts truly lie.
All right.
Thanks everyone for being in here. Appreciate you.
Yes. All right. So one last time, shout out to the Guardians and the Reds. Best of luck to you in the 2025 MLB playoffs. Guardians playing the Tigers, Reds playing the Dodgers. Let's go, everyone. Best of luck to the Reds and the Guardians in the 2025 MLB playoffs.
Christopher says, go Jackets. Hell yeah, brother. Yeah. Baseball in October.
I mean, you know what? Because I'll say this. I have been to many Blue Jackets home openers where like it was like them and like the Indians when they were the Indians. When the Blue Jackets had the home opener and the Indians played on the same day. And like just our bar was just packed. It's just an awesome environment because you had people that were wearing Blue Jacket stuff and had like an Indians hat on or something that day. And like you had like the Indians game all over all the TVs and everything. And then like people were going crazy if the Indians did something good. And then like you'd see it at like the Blue Jackets game, people wearing like, Indians and like Blue Jacket stuff and like people on their phone like had like the Indians while watching the Blue Jackets. And it's just an awesome environment, and now it's just going to be even better because it's now both the Reds and the Guardians, and it's just great. So that's just great. But anyways,
really awesome.
That is besides the point. Best of luck to you, Reds and Guardians.
Absolutely.
Now,
big fan.
So,
what other thing would you like to start with? We have a couple things to talk about today. As Kevin might have mentioned during the intro, I don't remember. Actually, we got training camp news, Damon Severson news, hockey jersey concepts, and we got a couple more little things coming up here too.
That's right. All right. We're going to start. We are going to start things off by doing a little training camp news. We talked a little bit about last week, but we're going to continue on, which is Yegor Chinikov. He continues to be playing good, not just in training camp, but in preseason games. He's been given first line, second line opportunities because in the past he's shown that when he's played that, he's good. This past season, he was playing on the first line with Marchenko Varan. No, it was him and Monahan and Marchenko, and it was really good, really good. He hit his first 14 games. Chinikov had 7 goals, ridiculously good, and not just this season, but in general. When Chinikov has played, he's shown he can be a good player for the Blue Jackets. He's really good at shooting the puck. One of the best shots on the Blue Jackets. Not a lot of people can shoot the puck like him. He has first line, second line talent. I wouldn't be surprised if sometime down the road if he had like 20, 30 goals for the Blue Jackets. But like we've said many times, the issue is he gets hurt, and that doesn't help him or the Blue Jackets. So, and then of course, he said that, it was a miscommunication, and he didn't like that he's playing lower in the lineup. But back in March when he came back, it's like, well, that's where we have to stick you because, well, that's just how it is, because the first 2 lines were playing really good for the Blue Jackets, and you didn't want to screw that up. So, yeah, Chinikov, you'd rather have him play higher up in the lineup, but that's just how it is. He just had to, suck it up and just play there, which he did, and he did it, no complaining. He did it admirably. But you fast forward to now, they're giving him more first line, second line minutes, both in training camp and the preseason, to see what's going on there and see if he can continue that positive momentum that he had last season. And as of right now, the answer to that question is yes. He has continued to have that momentum that he has had. He's been given first line, second line minutes, both in preseason and training camp, and he's looked good. And he scored a goal. He got a big assist on Luca Del Belluza's goal in a preseason game against Pittsburgh. Like he's looking good so far. So just see if he can keep that going. Maybe they change the first line, or maybe they say that, you know what, you look good, but we want to just continue what we had this past season of Voronkov, Marchenko, and Monahan, and then you stick Chinikov either on the third or the line or second line. So that's just a little news from training camp in regards to Yegor Chinikov. There's so much stuff more to talk about, but I don't want to go on like a long rant here, so we'll get Hefty Duck in here, and then we can, talk a little bit, and then we can other stuff involving training camp as well.
You're good. You're good. So I have unfortunately not been able to pay super close attention to like the training camp stuff. I have to watch some of the preseason or whatever as well. So I know that's going on. I did see that Evan Gardner, Owen Griffin, Nicholas Seamus, and Marcus. I didn't write down his last name. I don't know why, but anyway, those guys were released like a little while ago, and then they just released, what was it, earlier today? The training camp roster was reduced by 13 more players. 13 forwards, 9 defensemen, and 3 goaltenders remain. And the ones released today, I'll just rattle them off just real quick. Luca Del Belbelez, James Malatesta, Max McHugh, Luca Pinelli, Jack Williams, Corson Kuhlman, Stanislav Sposal, Nolan Lalonde are all sent to the Cleveland Monsters, or all loaned to the team. The team has placed they placed Hudson Fasching, Brendan Gauntz, Mikhail Putia on waivers to assign them to Cleveland. Oivo Keskinen was assigned to Tappara, which is over in the Liga, which is in Finland. That's where the Blue Jackets got to play a game one time. That was pretty cool. Except they got shit stomped. And then defenseman Brendan Smith was released from his professional tryout contract. There were a couple. Oh man, I was like halfway through my notes when me and Kevin started talking, so I kind of just stopped writing. So, take her away. If there's any other things like along that lines you got, let her rip.
So they've so Luca Del Bel Belouz was seen as one of those guys. Maybe he could have made the team out of training camp.
Looked good last night.
He did. He did. He's looked good in training camp, and you see him playing the preseason, and he does look good. But
Mm-hmm.
ultimately, you know it comes down to this: is that um,
Who are you gonna move out?
yes, who are you gonna move? Who are you gonna move out? That's a question, and the answer to that question is you're not. It's just that's just how it is. It's no disrespect to Luca Del Bel Belouz. That's just how it is. But
Yep.
also, Aaron Portzline had an article today in the Athletic, which you should check it out. Which is basically Don Waddell told Luca Del Bel Belouz that you do us no, you don't. You're not doing yourself any good. You're not doing the Blue Jackets any good by playing, third line, fourth line minutes, which is what would have happened had he made the team. You are a guy that should be playing more than that, and the only way that's going to happen is that if you go play down in Cleveland with the Monsters. We need because Luca Del Belbaluz, he is seen as one of the more top prospects that the Blue Jackets have, and a young up and coming player that's gonna be with the Blue Jackets for some time. Now, he's seen as one of those building blocks, and if that's truly the case, and if that's how you see it, then it does you no good to just stick him on like the third or fourth line and have him play like 8 to 10 minutes a night, and in the grand
Yeah.
scheme of things, not really do anything. So, because they said this is that we you've done everything that we've asked you to do when you've played with us. You've done everything that we've asked you to do. In the off season, they told him, okay, you need to put on weight, get stronger. You need to put on weight. And he did that. He came into training camp. He got stronger. He put on weight. And there's other stuff they said you need to do this, and he did. But it just comes down to it does you no good to be playing 8, 9, 10 minutes a night on like the third or fourth line when you should be playing more. So go play down in Cleveland, get your first line, second line minutes, play good down there like we know you can because he's shown that. And then when you're ready, we'll bring you up. And then you'll be ready to go. Essentially, how I'm reading this is basically kind of like what they did with Denton Matejchuk, where you could have made the argument that, yeah, he could have made the team out of training camp, but he's the type of guy that should be playing higher up in the lineup, and honestly, it would have done him no good to just be, playing third or fourth line minutes when he's a first line, second line talent. So that's what they did in Matejchuk, and then when he was ready, he came up, and now he's first line, second line, and he's not going anywhere. If I had to take a guess, the same thing is going to happen with Luca Del Bel Belouz.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, he looked great. He will forever be known as the last person in the NHL to have scored a goal on the great Fleury, Marc-Andre Fleury. Because last night, so it was very interesting. It was pretty cool. Unfortunately, the Blue Jackets did lose to the Penguins, but Marc-Andre Fleury got to play one last game for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and in that, so that he can retire as a Pittsburgh Penguin. And that's pretty cool. I heard their chance of like one more year to Fleury, and I think that's really cool because I like that they celebrated there. I like that when people spend a large portion of their career somewhere, they can come back and like that's where they feel like their home is or played.
Yeah.
Um, even if it's been quite a few years since they've been there. Marc-Andre Fleury, he's been in the league for a long time. So congrats to him. It's unfortunate. I saw some people complaining that the Blue Jackets posted the video of, and it was like last shot on, I forget what exactly they said, but they basically were like celebrating Luka's goal in the shootout and saying like, oh, last shot for Marc-Andre Fleury, hashtag something legendary or something along that lines. And there's people in the comments being like, this is classless. This is blah blah blah. This is what do you want, dude? He's on the team we were playing.
Yeah.
Like,
And
you're not friends on the ice.
yeah.
Off the ice is different, but like that is a rival team.
Yeah, and
What are we gonna do? Post him saving like all those shots?
no.
No, that's
The,
stupid.
the blue look, they did a like the Blue Jackets lose the preseason game, but after that, just essentially a tribute to Marc-Andre Fleury. They gave him one last shootout to do, and yes, the Blue Jackets won that. So you're expecting the Blue Jackets to not post that? You're expecting the Blue Jackets to not post that goal that Luca Del Belus scored to win that shootout? Like, no, it does not work like that. Of course the Blue Jackets are going to post that of that goal winning that shootout. Of course they're going to do it. And it was a good goal too because Luca Del Belus, he comes in and then at the last moment kind of like jukes him and quickly pulls it to the backhand and scores. Like he got Marc-Andre Fleury. It was a good shot. He got Marc-Andre Fleury pretty good. So like, yeah, the Blue Jackets, of course the Blue Jackets are going to post that. It's really not that hard.
I just thought it was kind of goofy. And we do have a quick comment here from Charles. He says injuries will happen. He'll get the call up to come play just like Jet did last year. Absolutely. Luca Del Belus will. I can guarantee, almost guarantee, he'll be on the NHL ice at some point this season. I don't know why he wouldn't be. You know, you need to start getting that guy experience because that's another thing too. Like you might be able to move someone out of those bottom lines. Like maybe he's outshining them at camp like a little bit, but when it comes down to who has the NHL ice time experience, Don Waddell, I'm inferring this, but looking at who he's got in trades, he went for older, experienced guys, also really big guys. Luca Del Belus is not any of those things right now. He could be. He will be very experienced one day. And yeah, but I can't wait to see him a little bit here in the NHL because, I mean, like his trajectory, I don't know. I like the way he's looked. I like the way he plays. He's got some silky mitts and nice shot. Obviously, he did that great shot last night. So,
and you know, Charles is right. You know, you hope injuries don't happen, but at some point in time, it is gonna happen. And just like it's hockey. Yeah, Jack Greaves did come up last year in part as well. You know, Elvis Merzlikins won too many shots to the head because that one game against Ottawa, he took 2 shots to the head, and not on purpose, but as a game of hockey, a goalie's playing goalie, and Ottawa takes 2 shots, and he makes the save, but the save is he gets whacked. He takes the shot to the head, doinked off the mask twice, and the first one he was okay, but then the second one he was done because he was kind of bending over like this, and it was just too much. And then knowing what we know now after the season, Elvis Merzlikins was like, yeah, I had a concussion, and that's why I did. That's why I didn't play the rest of the season, which is why Jet Greaves played every single game because of that. So you hope they don't happen, but if you're being realistic, in some way, shape, or form, it's probably going to happen. You just hope it's not as bad. Or if it does happen, you hope it's a situation what happened with, where Jet Greaves just steps in and it's fine. No, not really any issues. Or where, Sean Monahan unfortunately gets hurt, but Adam Fantilli steps in and it's fine. You don't want injuries, but if it happens, that's the type of situation that you want to happen.
Yeah. And if you have NHL caliber players on your AHL affiliate team, all the better. Like, it sucks that they have to play, that they can't get that NHL time, and if there's never a spot for them and they're really that good, then eventually they're gonna want to play maybe somewhere else or something. But like, I mean, I kind of blanked on what I was just saying. It's ridiculous. But that'll be great to fill in for all the other guys there. And you never know. I mean, that's why, like, Chinikov being on the third line, like, it doesn't make that big of a difference to myself either, because there's gonna be so many opportunities. And maybe someone is just got the sniffles one night. Maybe someone has upset stomach. It's just like a game or two. He gets to show off what he can do there, and then who knows? But anyway,
And
do you have any more training camp or preseason type stuff?
okay, well, actually, good comment, Christopher, because I was about to say something about Fedotov here, so nicely
Good.
done. You beat me to it, Christopher. But so Christopher says, let's not forget Fedotov cleared waivers, so he'll give us a good backup to Elvis or Jet, which is true. Fedotov, in the time that he played with the Blue Jackets, both in training camp and in the preseason, he looked good. And you can see why the Blue Jackets made the trade to get him, is that he's shown he can be a good goalie. And that's good to have someone like that waiting down in the minors just in case something happens, compared to pulling Sawchenko or someone else who's not exactly ready yet. It's better for those types of people to just stay down there and keep playing games until they're ready. So it's good to have a guy like Fedotov down there in Cleveland playing games, and then if you need him, he's ready to go.
Yeah. It sounds like I'm getting a little bit of static with your mic coming through. I don't know if whoops, sorry. I didn't mean to mute you there. Let me see if that'll help. If not, we'll go from there. I just turned on a setting for you. Yeah. A great call for Fedotov. I'm glad that he made it through. I was a little bit nervous about that just because, like, you never know. It's very unlikely, but they did trade a pick for him.
Yeah.
Whether or not it was like a huge make or break pick, not a big deal. But you don't want to just lose him. That's a guy that they're going to need. And glad he made it through. I'm really glad he made it through. I honestly hadn't checked the waiver report today yet. But good on him. And so there was 3 goalies in camp, right? Because he got sent down.
Wow.
And now it's just Jet, or is there someone else there yet?
Okay, so the way I've been reading on this, the way it's explained, he got sent down, but he's not in Cleveland yet.
Oh, just right on.
It's not just a Blue Jackets thing, but every team does this, where they're playing around with the waiver wire and just trying to do different things that they can find ways to, like, send people down in air quotes, but yet still keep them with the team, and, like, roster moves and maneuver, like the cap and the roster space and a bunch of other stuff. And that's essentially what's happening right now with Fedotov. Will he be with the Monsters eventually? Yes. But for now, the Blue Jackets still have 3 more preseason games, so they're keeping him up here just in case, you need him to go play a game or something. So he did get sent down through waivers, but he's still with the Blue Jackets.
I was a little bit curious about that because, like, I saw, we saw that they were released, and then I read that article by oh shit, who wrote this? Was it Svoboda or was it? Yeah, it's Svoboda. I read that article from Svoboda saying what was it? I just want to attribute it to the right person because it was just Blue Jacket staff. Never mind. they posted. It was like a media thing that's sent through, but well, excellent. Yeah, with the positive news coming out of training camp. I'm so excited for this season, and why wouldn't I be? This is going to be something that the Blue Jackets haven't had for a while. So first thing first, a coach that has at least a year experience with the team, players that have a lot of experience playing together. There's some new faces, not too many left, but a lot stayed. And that for like the last few years, I mean, there was wheeling and dealing. Patrick Laine got traded away. You don't necessarily want to just trade players all the time. I was reading some article one time. This is probably just made up, no clue. But someone was talking about how like it can take up to 2 seasons for a player to properly gel with a new team. You get that first season in, and they're talented players, so they're gonna do well a little bit. But then that second year in, then they're a little bit more comfortable with everybody. But by that third year with that team, everyone's habits. They know players well, like really well off the ice, as well as on the ice. So you just get that camaraderie, and you get to read each other a little bit better. And if you can just play some years together, that would be great. Obviously, there's been some some staples there. Boone Jenner being one of them. Danforth, Christensen, have been around for quite a while. Zach Werenski, also like super long term. But when you look at like Provorov, he hasn't been there very long. Severson hasn't been there very long.
Yeah.
And looking at some forwards too. Like I think most of the forwards are more have been there for more than the defense. Anyway, all I'm saying is that this is going to be something that the Blue Jackets haven't had for a while, especially mixed with all the other news. Second-year coach too, so he has something to look back on. He has a reference point for his team, not just reference point for a team that he wasn't coaching. He's like, oh, he's knowing what's working, what's not. Anyway, just I'm super excited for this. Every day that goes by, everything I hear that out of camp, everything I hear about preseason and whatnot, I'm a big fan of. But I just mentioned his name. Do you want to move on to talking about Damon Severson?
Yeah, but for
Oh, hell yeah, Charles Stanford. He said Charles Stanford reposted this stream. I
yeah.
can't fucking thank you, man. I appreciate that. We don't have sponsors. We don't do ads. We don't ask for money from anybody. We just want support from you guys by sharing and liking. That's the best thing that you can do if you like us and like our content.
Right.
We appreciate every view out there.
All right. So, next stop. We'll put this up on the screen. There is some Damon Severson news that's come out recently. And we've talked about this on the show before, which is if you've paid attention to the Blue Jackets, you know about Damon Severson. And that you know that Damon Severson can be hit or miss. And when it is a miss, it is not just a miss, it is bad. Like, oh God, what is that? It's just, I don't like this. This is not good. But when it is a hit, it's really good. Like, wow, that was a good play he made there. He played a good game there. He's a big reason why the Blue Jackets won that game. He made a big defensive play, blocking a shot, breaking up a defensive play with a stick. He scored a goal that helped the Blue Jackets win a game. And, he's really Severson. He's big. He's physical. He's really, he's good at skating, and he's good at, for passing the puck and just getting it out of the defensive zone. Good in transition. Like, that's where it's like, oh, he had a real good game. There is no either or. It's either, unfortunately, bad or good. And the Blue Jackets, before everyone left to go home for the summer, the Blue Jackets pulled Damon Severson off to the side and essentially sat him down and told him that we need you to be better. We know you can be good. We've seen it, but we need you to be better. because you can't keep having this thing where it's like, oh, one game I'm bad, one game I'm good, and just, go back and forth, because the bad is bad. And it's just, he'll have a brain fart where he'll try and make a play that's not there, forcing it where the puck were to a place that it shouldn't go, and then the puck gets turned over. And then sometimes that unfortunately gets leading to a goal getting scored on the Blue Jackets because he had a brain fart moment. It's just like, you don't need to do that. But then at the same time, like I said, he has those games where he looks good and he'll make a big play offensively or defensively that helps the Blue Jackets win a game. Like, oh man, he had a good game. Like, you need more of the good stuff and the bad. And I'm paraphrasing it, but that's essentially what the Blue Jackets told him before everyone went home for the summer, which is, we need you to be better. And I think as of right now, listening to Damon Severson talk to the Columbus media, I think he took this to heart, and I think he understands what's going on, and I think he understands that he needs to get better, because he's talked to the Columbus media. You watch the interviews that he gives to the Columbus media that the Blue Jackets post on their YouTube page, and you see it. You see that he knows what's going on. You see that he needs to be better. He's talked about it many times, and he's talked about how he didn't like how his season ended, which is he didn't play. Towards the end of March/April, when the Blue Jackets were one of those teams fighting for that final playoff spot, and they went on that heater where they're playing really good, Damon Severson did not play. In part because his brain farts. They can't, you don't want those, but you can look the other way when, you're playing a game in like January. It's like, because you have a lot more room for error there. Yeah, it sucks if you lose, but it's January. But when you were a team like the Blue Jackets that were fighting for a playoff spot where every game matters and you really can't afford to lose many games, maybe one or two at most. When you have such a razor thin margin of error, you just can't afford to play someone like that that's going to have a brain fart and maybe do a dumb mistake that could maybe cost you the game. You just can't have that. And that's essentially what happened to Damon Severson, is in part because of that. The Blue Jackets didn't play him. They played other people. They played Jake Christensen. They played Jack Johnson. They played Jordan Harris. You could go down the list. There's a bunch of other guys too that they played in favor of, instead of him, it's a bunch of other guys. So he doesn't like how it ended. He knows he has to get better, which is good. So it looks like he put in a lot of work into the off season and, worked hard, built himself up, and he knows that he has to be better, which is good. And now he just has to, we'll see how that goes and if he can just continue what he's been working on. Because if he does, the Blue Jackets will be good, because if you get the good Damon Severson that that we have seen before, the Blue Jackets will be fine. So it'll just be interesting to see how that goes. And I like that Damon Severson has openly admitted publicly to the Columbus media that he knows that he can be good, but he needs to get better.
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking there, something struck me as kind of funny in that Damon Severson can be a difference maker.
Yes.
Unfortunately, sometimes that difference is not good.
Yeah.
And it's watching him play sometimes is occasionally like he's a very talented guy. He plays great. He's in the NHL for a reason. He's not in danger of not making the team. But I also oftentimes wondered if he has ADHD. Um, I'm not trying to be mean with this at all. I'm really not. I'm just as someone who struggles with that myself. Um, I'm diagnosed and I'm medicated, and I just occasionally there's just something that slips through the cracks. I'm really good about it. I'm 34 years old. There's a lot of things I've done besides just take medication to help myself through that and to, make myself not forget things and stay on top of stuff. But sometimes something just slips through the cracks. You never know. And that's like just watching him play. That's like what I feel like. He's on it, he's on it until he's not. And then you're like, wait, what were you doing?
Yeah.
And he's just like up by the goal as a defenseman or some shit like that. And it's just like, well, you know, he just let his mind wander for a split second, and that. Then he gets run over. Then he gets run by. Then he's turning around and playing with the puck, like behind him. It's not good. So like I said, I don't think he's a bad player. You brought up another interesting point with when they played really well and he wasn't necessarily there. I don't think he wrecks the chemistry. I don't think he's screwing the team over. But I do think just a little bit of a focus, a little bit of refocus, really just paying attention to what's going on at all seconds. All seconds. I'm sure he probably, he's on the ice. He's probably paying way better attention than I am, but there's still, you cannot slip. You just absolutely can't. That's mistakes are going to happen. That's how people score goals. That's how players win. That's how games are won. Someone at some point is going to have to let something by them. But damn, if it isn't just sometimes like get tired of being like, oh, it's Severson. But we'll see. I'm still looking forward to seeing what he can produce this season. I mean, every single year a player grows, and then take Zach Werenski for example. He his last few seasons have been top notch. Let me get some actual things here. So, I mean, he had 57 points last season. Unfortunately, that season before that, he only played like 13 games. 48 points was his previous high. Then he had 57 points. Now he's about to be 28, or he's already 28, and he just scored 82 points last season in 81 games, and that's insane. He's only 28. Damon Severson, he's not that much older. Isn't he like 31 or 2 or something? But there's still always time. He's 31 and 52 days. Oh, he has the same birthday as my sister. Interesting. And it's not. We're not just talking about points. I like, especially with defensemen. Like, I actually couldn't give two shits less if you're a defenseman and you have 0 goals.
Mm-hmm.
As long as your plus minus isn't like minus 30.
Yeah.
Because like rough. But like even looking at like Sivo's like plus minus from last year, he was a +5. Plus minus is argued about a lot. Like some people, it's not a great metric for certain things, but like if you have an extreme one way or the other, it's very telling of you either are playing good defense or you're not.
Yes.
And +5 is great. The whole team in general had pluses, I think. Let me go back to the whole stats page. I mean, the only people who had -1s were people who had. Oh, okay. Well, a couple people had -1s: Olivier, Koralik, Danforth, Chinikov, Sillinger. So there's quite a bit. Those are the only defensemen who had a minus. Well, Jack Johnson did too, but that's my point. That's why Damon Severson is a higher pair than those guys. But if the Blue Jackets want to make a not just make it to the playoffs, what's really going to matter is once you're in the playoffs and where you go from there. And just knowing you have someone who has that unlocked, because very, very rarely do you see Werenski get beat.
Mhm.
It might happen occasionally. He's just kind of an offensive defenseman sometimes too. We do see Provorov get beat, and that is another thing that has happened a little bit more than maybe some other defensemen. But I see Severson he's turning every single time. He's like turning his body already, and like he should already. I think sometimes it's his positioning. It's just not the greatest because his skills are great. He can he passes it straight to the other team sometimes too. But I'm not here to like bitch about him or anything. But just got to be a little bit real about the situation, like where the players are all at right now. And anyway, so he didn't do too terrible last season, but I do believe he could be even better here soon.
Right. So I agree with everything you said there. It just not just because the Blue Jackets need him to be good, but it's like, dude, we're paying you kind of a lot of money here, so like
Yeah.
we need you to be good. We need you to be good here, so we don't feel like we're wasting money. Because one of the worst things that you could have a feeling that you could do is pay someone money, and then they're just terrible, and then it's like, well, we got this contract and he's not playing very good, and now we're stuck with it because no one's going to want to touch it. You want to be in a position to where, in some hypothetical scenario, if you had to trade this guy, you want to be able to say that, you know what, this guy's playing good. We like having him on our team. We don't want to trade him, but we have to. And you want to be able to look and say, you know what, we could do this because, yeah, the contract's kind of expensive, but you know what, we can justify it and we can try and trade it to someone. Another team could look at that and say, okay, yeah, it's expensive, but you know what, that's okay. We still like the player and we still want him. Not, which is like, well, he's
It's a long
okay.
contract too.
He's okay, but the contract and all the other stuff, you don't want that. You want it to where it's like, oh, okay, you know what? Expensive contract, but I still want the player. That's what you want.
Yeah. Yeah, and like and looking ahead too, like you were just talking about contracts and everything. He's 6.25 million through the 2029-2030 season. That's quite a big contract still. 6.2 mil. The Blue Jackets could always retain a little bit of space, but because they have a current cap space of just over 14 mil, doesn't mean they're going to have that for the next 4 years. So maybe they could retain salary in like the first season or two or something. They're definitely that would be. I feel like that would be a crazy contract to try to buy out unless it was in the last 2 or 3 years. I think he's got a full shot this year. Totally fine. I think that there needs to be. I don't even know if he needs to improve. He just needs to lessen his mistakes. Does that make sense? Like he's very good, but then just the
No,
things slip through the cracks.
no brain farts anymore. Don't do the brain farts anymore. I know mistakes are going to happen, but like you got to just try your best to limit them and just no brain farts, no brain fart moments. Just you can't do that.
Right. So where are my notes here? Where we at right now? We're pretty good into this. So speaking of contracts, I saw something about someone talking about Fantilli's contract because we were talking about that. Was it last week, the week before? About what size that we'd be thinking of, and from what I believe I read, there's not like a hurry to get there. There's no need to be in a hurry to get there. There's a full season and part of the off season if need be. I think that for the Blue Jackets, that might be a very smart move. I mean, something to think about. Everyone, whenever you hear like talk of from that draft round, we're very oftentimes hearing about Connor Bedard, of course,
Right.
absolutely amazing player.
Yeah.
And then recently we're also hearing a lot about Michkov,
Right.
and we're hearing a lot about
It's Fantilli.
what's the dude from San Jose?
Well, Macklin, Will Smith.
Macklin Celebrini. Yes. So
Right.
we're hearing a lot about them.
But Celebrini's net the following draft year.
Yes, I know. Yeah. But like that's like the hot like young players right now. It is unfortunate that Ohio. I mean, I view Columbus as a hockey town,
Yeah.
but Ohio itself is not a hockey state necessarily. Like when you look at, New York and Minnesota and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
Adam Fantilli needs to be brought up more, and here is why. Let me check one stat before I say something really dumb. How do I spell Connor Bedard? Oh, it's O's, 2 O's. So newsflash: Adam Fantilli is the first of his draft class to get to 30 goals, over 30 goals.
Mm-hmm.
First one from the draft class.
That's right.
Bedard might have had more points, but or did he have more points? Hold on. 54 points, 67. Yeah. Bedard had quite a few more points. But the first from his draft class to break the 30 goal mark. It's unreal. It's his second year. It's almost like he's second, like his he only really played like half a season the first time, So absolutely killer. I personally just think that we talked about on the show already about his contract and what I think it would be at, but that's something to keep in the back of your mind. If you're a fan out there and you're like, man, why aren't they talking about Fantilli here? Why do I keep hearing about Celebrini? Well, we're going to hear about them. They're great players. Personally, do I actually give two shits about the San Jose Sharks? No. I'm much more inclined to pay a little bit more attention to Bedard because he's at least in Chicago. I don't really care about California teams for the most part. Like, not meaning offense, it's just so far out there that I just won't. I don't care. It's far away. But some people, they probably think the same thing about like out here in Fantilli and whatnot. But I think that the hype is real. There's going to be two players this year that they're not going to stop talking about: Adam Fantilli and once again Zach fucking Werenski. This is going to be huge for both those two dudes. They are going to be. I mean, obviously, Captain Boone Jenner is like the leader of the team, and he is top talent in many aspects too. But these guys are going to lead the team this year. I fully believe it. I guess Marchenko, though, when you really stop and think about it, he might. So let's opine that real quick. Let's talk about this. Who do you think is going to end up with the most points this next season? Because we'll go from the top last year. Werenski had the most, 82. Marchenko, 74. Kent Johnson was tied with Monahan for 57. Monahan only had 54 games. Fantilli, 54. Voronkov. Personally, I'm super excited to see Kent Johnson. Every single year that he gets a little bit older, he's going to be 22, 23 this year. He just becomes more and more of a force on the ice. No one can ignore him. And I feel like sometimes he's real subtle about it too. Because once again, you never really heard the hype as much about him as you did other people in his draft class.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand, like I said, Ohio's a small market.
Yeah.
We're just not going to get that national attention that we really want.
Wow. Yeah. So I'd say it's probably going to be Marchenko because if you think about it, he's had a little slow transition to becoming a more complete 200-foot player because
he's a pure goal scorer right at first.
Yes, because if you look at the highlights of what he was doing over in Russia, the dude was just scoring. A lot of it was he was just scoring goals over there. Mm-hmm. And then he continued that trend as soon as he got to the Blue Jackets. He was in the development camp, and he looked good there. He scored goals like, oh, man, the Blue Jackets might have something there. And then you go to training camp in preseason. He looked good, score some goals. Like, ooh, they might have something there. They send him down to Cleveland just to get used to the smaller ice surface because you could tell that he just wasn't quite with it yet. Just a little too fast for him. So they send him down to Cleveland just to, settle, just let him just ease into things, settle down. And he's playing for the Monsters. And again, he looks good, and he's scoring goals like crazy. It's like, oh, dang, he looks really good. The Blue Jackets might have something here. And then he comes up and plays for the Blue Jackets, and he's good, and he scores goals. And it's like, oh, yep, the Blue Jackets have something here. And then the following year, he continues that trend where he's really good and scores goals. And then this year, yes, he continues that trend of, oh, yeah, he looks really good and he's scoring goals, which he scored 31 of them and looked really good. But now he's also doing a better 200-foot game. Yes, he's giving you the goals, but also he's giving you assists, whether that because doing what Marchenko does, he shoots the puck and then someone scores off a rebound or something, and that's how he gets the assist. Or, yes, Kirill Marchenko did have some nice passing plays that he did this past season to help set up a goal, and he's getting points that way. And he was a plus 28. Ridiculously good. So he's showing that he can even be good defensively. So you say, oh, who could have the most points? I wouldn't be surprised if it was Kirill Marchenko.
Yeah, excuse me, sorry. Marchenko is a fully valid. Sorry, there's like a fruit fly around here. Fully valid choice for that too, because when you look at last year, the top two goal scorers were Marchenko and Fantilli. And Fantilli played all 82 games. Marchenko he played 79, which is still fantastic, so much better than some other players.
Yeah.
Now, when we look at the raw stats from the beginning of the year, if he can stay healthy, I think Yegor Chinakhov has a chance. Maybe not at most points, but getting a lot more goals.
Yes.
And just in turn, that might kind of quote unquote take those goals away from Marchenko or something like that, just because he has more opportunity or less opportunity. Now he's gonna have to work his way. He's not gonna get that if he's playing third line minutes, maybe, but we'll see how the season goes with that. My guess for this next season, top points earner, I think Werenski was absolutely incredible last year. Can he do that exactly 2 years in a row? I don't expect him to.
No.
I really don't. That was like some like Miracle on Ice type shit, right? Do I see him getting up there high again? Absolutely. Now, man, if he does go on, if he is a point per game player the entire season again, like that's so impressive.
I just like Zach Werenski, you've shown you are a good defenseman, and you've shown you absolutely can be a good defenseman for the Blue Jackets. Time and time again, you've shown that. And you're coming off just a really good season. One might argue it was your best season ever. 23 goals for a defenseman is just ridiculously good. 82 points for a defenseman is ridiculously good. Like, I'm not saying that you can't do that again. You can. But at the same time, I think people got to be more realistic here and realize that, as good as Zach Werenski is offensively, which he is, he's a defenseman. Like, defense is his first job. So, like, I'm not expecting my defenseman that plays for the Blue Jackets, my favorite hockey team, to go out there and score a lot of goals and points and everything. If you do, that's an extra added bonus. But I'm not expecting that because that's not why you're here originally. You're defenseman. Your first job is go play defense, help the team out defensively, and help keep the puck out of the net. So, like, in some hypothetical scenario, if Zach Werenski, didn't have as good as a season offensively. Maybe he gets less goals, less points, less assists, whatever. I'm okay with that because he's a defenseman. And I don't necessarily think it's realistic to expect him to have a season that he just had again. Because he can do it, but more likely than not, a season like that's probably a once in a lifetime thing.
Especially now, people already are aware of him. He's already an all-star, but like they're gonna be. I mean, he's gonna be a target.
Yeah.
Now,
you
can't just. Yeah.
It's just almost not fair to him to expect to have him do that again, because the type of season that he just had is a type of season where you're not only good, but it's like everything has to go right for something like that to happen. And for Zach Werenski, it did. Everything went right. And it's not necessarily fair to him to say, oh, we want you to do that again. It's not necessarily realistic to expect that again. It's kind of the same thing I know Joe Burrow got hurt, but it's like the same exact thing, is that you look at the season that he just had with the Bengals, where it was just ridiculously good, to where you already knew that Joe Burrow was a good player and everything. But that season essentially really put him on the map, to where, he had all the leading and all the like offensive categories or close to it, ridiculously good. And he had these games where he'd throw like 300, 400 yards a game and get like 3-4 touchdowns, and he would just be cooking teams. As good as that was, you just can't expect that again. It's not necessarily fair to Joe Burrow to expect that. And it's a kind of similar thing with Zach Werenski. He can do it. I don't think it's necessarily fair to him to expect that again, because that's just a once in a lifetime thing, probably, that will probably never happen again. And it's just like where everything has to go right, went right. And stuff like that doesn't really happen again and again, generally speaking.
Right. And like, because like when you look at the numbers yet too, you can go back to the 2018-2019 season, and no one's come close. Johnny Gaudreau had 74 points 2 seasons ago. He had 60 the season before last, and 74 was the highest since Artemi Panarin had 87 points in 2018-2019. That is a forward. That's one of the top forwards in the whole freaking league, man.
Mm-hmm.
And Zach Werenski got close, very close to that. And when I was just skimming back through some of the last seasons and just looking at the average stats for everyone, and obviously there's a skewed one around the whole COVID era. But like our top 4 points earners from 2018, 2019, not a single one of them are still there. Artemi Panarin, Cam Atkinson, PLD, Josh Anderson, Seth Jones, and it's not until 6th, the number 6 points earner is Zach Werenski. Now, obviously, that was like 6 years ago, so you're not going to have those same kind of players. But even when you look at the top points earners from like the last few seasons, Zach Werenski keeps climbing that ladder. He was 3rd in 2019, 2020. So I don't expect him to do that, but I'm also making an argument for how he could end up possibly doing that again. And because when we look at that weird 2020-21 season with the shortened season and top 5, 6, hold on. Holy cow. Okay, so Bjorkstrand, gone. Atkinson, gone. Roslovic, gone. Jones, gone. Domi, Line, and 7th is Zach Werenski. That was a short season, but all the top points earners for the Blue Jackets for the last 4 or 5 years just are gone. Up until we get to because unfortunately, Jacob Voracek does not play anymore. Bjorkstrand, Line, Nyquist, and then once again in 5th place, Zach Werenski. That was 2021-22. And looking ahead, one more. I know this is when the late great Johnny Gaudreau was added to the team, and it took off. He took off. He had 74 points that first season with the Blue Jackets, and Patrick Laine was right behind him with 52. And then Line only played 55 games that year, and he still got 52 points. Boone Jenner, 68 games, 45. And it's not until I don't think I want to talk about this season because Zach Werenski was injured for it anyway. I don't think he played 13 games.
Yeah.
13 games and 8 points. Anyway, so then for like the last 2 years, those 2 years, John Gaudreau was the points leader. Unfortunately, that 1 year he hit 60 points, but then Zach Werenski was right behind him with 57. So I could see this happening again by Werenski, or at least I could see him getting close. But I think the team as a whole is going to be gelled together a bit more. They're not going to be reliant on him.
Yeah.
There's some games where it really felt like he picked him up and carried him on his back as a defenseman. He's stopping shots, stopping goals, and making them. And you can't ask for a more complete player than that. So, he could. I just don't foresee him as maybe being the points leader. He's going to be top 10, guaranteed. Top 5, probably. Top 3, very likely. Number 1, unsure. But wouldn't it be crazy if Chinikov got there? Because when he does play, he's a point per game player. So then we do have Johnson and Monahan. So Monahan, realistically, this last season, he had slightly more than a point per game average. His point per game average was higher than Zach Werenski's, but he only got to play 54 games due to injury. And so in those 54 games, he had 57 points. He get him out there for those 20, 25 more extra games. And can I count right? You can pretend that's close. Get him out there for some extra games, and Monahan could very well be the top points earners for this next season. I'm really hoping for a healthy season from everyone. But you can't knock Kent Johnson out the running. But I think it's going to be between Monahan, Marchenko, and Werenski. And those guys need to and should get paid. So besides the points, who do you think will have the most goals? Let me break it down from last year because there's 2 players tied. I think I said it earlier. Both Marchenko and Fantilli had 31 goals. Right behind them, Kent Johnson, 24. Right behind him, Werenski, 23. Keep in mind, Kent Johnson only played 68 games. So, he sat out for like 14 games. Give him a couple more, maybe a couple more goals. Sean Monahan, with all the points he had, he only had 19 only, but he had 19 goals. Matthew Olivier had 18. That's a crazy thing from Olivier. So we'll talk about assists next, but who do you think will have the most goals?
Well, it's going to be one of Kirill Marchenko or Adam Fantilli. It's pretty simple, straightforward. Like you could make you could say that other people could do it, but yeah, that makes sense. But if you're being realistic, it's Adam Fantilli or Kirill Marchenko, because Kirill Marchenko really good at scoring goals, shooting the puck. In his 3 seasons, every time he's gotten better. 21 goals first season, 23 goals second season. This past season, 31 goals. Now, Adam Fantilli, yes, that goofball injury that he had there that took him out for the rest of the season. But if you go back to how he was playing, he was really starting to come on strong and playing really good and scoring goals, and things were starting to pick up for him and start going in the right direction. And I have no doubt that if he continued that way and played the way he was playing, I think he would have gotten at least 20 goals that year. That's just how it was. And then this past season played really good, especially from January until the end of the season. Sean Monahan goes down, and he's awesome. He really stepped it up. That could have been a really bad moment for the Blue Jackets. That could have gone the other way, but it didn't. Instead of a oh crap moment, is Yeah, it sucks Sean Monahan's hurt, but you know what? That's okay, because you know why? We have Adam Fantilli. He's playing really good in the first line center spot, scoring goals like crazy. 2 hat tricks against Toronto and New York, cooking them, destroying them, playing really good in that first line center spot. And then soon as Sean Monahan comes back, he goes back down to the second line center spot and he's awesome. And it's like, yeah, really good. And his final 7 games, he has 6 goals. Playing really, really good. Just ridiculously good. He took that next step and ridiculously good. And it's like, okay, so you have 31 goals now. What can you do next? How can you build on that? I wouldn't be surprised if, at the end of the season, if he had 35-40 the way he was playing, because he really looked like he's about to take that next step just based on off of how he played and all that positive momentum that he had and how he built himself up that season. So it's probably going to be Kirill Marchenko or Adam Fantilli for who has the most goals for the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, I can't foresee there being another person except for, once again, possibly Sean Monahan, because the top 3 points earners were not the top 3 goal makers. The only person that switched out from there was Zach Werenski with Adam Fantilli. And technically speaking, it should be a forward. It really should. I don't think Zach Werenski should be having the most points is one thing. That's totally great. Having over 20 goals, amazing. He doesn't need to be over 30. That's not. It shouldn't necessarily be a defenseman's defining role. Now, the fact that he is there and is a full player is amazing. But as far as goals go, man, just like the thing is, like, Fantilli played 14 more games than Johnson. Johnson had 24 goals.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the biggest things, Fantilli played all 82 games. Comparing that to his first season, because he wants to play, and hopefully he did what it took to hopefully not get us injured. But that was a freak accident. It's not like he was not strong enough and got plastered up against the boards or something. But yeah, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna pick one. I'm gonna pick a single person, and I am going to say Kirill Marchenko. You heard it here, Kirill Marchenko. I love Fantilli. I hope it's him. I hope it's either of them. Really don't care. So let's switch over to assists. Let me talk about this a little bit because once again, Sean Monahan's name comes up, and he only had 54 games. So Zach Werenski had 59 assists last year. 59. Kirill Marchenko, 43. Sean Monahan had 38 assists. Johnson was behind him with 33. Provorov, 26. Veronkov, 24. Adam Fantilli, 23. Sillinger, 22. Riemsdyk, 20. Sorry, Van Riemsdyk. Severson had 19. So those are your top 10 assists from last season. Do you think Werenski can do this again? Because I don't know why not.
He can, but again, it's like I'm not you're a defenseman. That's your first job. Like, that's what I am expecting of you. You're a defenseman. Go play defense. Yes, I know you're good on offense too, Zach Werenski. You've shown that time and time again. But that's an extra added bonus for me, okay? Go play defense first. Go play defense first. Help keep the puck out of the net. Go do that. And then after that, any other bonus that, any other offensive numbers that you get, goals, assists, points, whatever, that's an extra added bonus for me. You're a defenseman. Go play defense first. You do that, then everything else will take care of itself and it's going to be fine. So he can, but I'm not expecting the defenseman to lead them in points again. I'm just or assists or goals. You know what? I'm just not. I'm just not expecting that because defenseman first. Go play defense and any other sort of extra added bonus. If that's a goal or point or assist, you take that. But that's an extra added bonus. You're a defenseman. Play defense first.
Yep. I can't disagree with you here too much. There is some variables up in the air that we're just not gonna be able to account for, like Gina Goggin to play more, like possibly people moving up and down the lineups. I think Cole Sillinger should be in a higher line, but who are you gonna replace? Because Silly is such a solid player. He only had 66 games played last year. He's gonna be like 22 this next year, and he has like three. This is what third, 3.5 seasons, Jesus. For those of you listening, Kevin just held up 5 fingers.
See, 5.
And
5.
What? He's 20.
See, 5. There you go.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be his 5th season with the Blue Jackets. Unreal. He doesn't have sky high, super duper top line numbers, but he ain't near the bottom either. Anyway, I got kind of off track there about the assist thing. So,
I'd say it's probably Kent. I'd probably say it's Kent Johnson who probably leads in assists.
Well, I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna say, because of the line he's on and everything, I gotta say Sean Monahan.
That too.
He can really dish it, and I can't wait to see what kind of chemistry they can come up with here this next year.
That's not a bad guess. It's probably going to be something like Sean Monahan or Kent Johnson because both are just really good at passing the puck. And we played this clip on the show many times, but it's like Kent Johnson, like you're right in front of the net, and you oh, you got to shoot that. You got to shoot that. And then he doesn't shoot it. You're like, oh, God, no, what are you doing? You should have shot that. You should have shot that. And then he does like this like cool like backhand pass thingy majigger. And it goes to Adam Fantilli and he shoots and scores. And it's like, well, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ken Johnson. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for doubting you. I'm just not going to say anything. I'll just shut up. I'll just shut up. I won't say anything. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was Sean Monahan or Kent Johnson that led the Blue Jackets in assists.
So I have a funny one that I want to talk about the goalies just a little bit, and then we have some jersey concepts and stuff to talk about here in a bit. So funny one. This is a funny one. I'm not going to ask you who's going to be first. I'm going to ask you who's going to be second because we all know Matthew Olivier is going to have the most penalty minutes by far. In second place last season was Voronkov. After that, Matthew Olivier had 139 penalty minutes. Some of that comes from getting the match the misconducts and game penalties or whatever. Anyway, so in second place we had Dmitry Voronkov with 55 penalty minutes, Severson with 47, Fabro 40, Corrali 40, Sillinger 35, Werenski 31, Ivan Provorov 31, Aston Reese 27, Van Riemsdyk 23. So there's your top 10 in penalty minutes. Like I said, that's kind of said as a joke, but keep in mind that we are going to have Eric Goodbranson back on defense this year. And that I guess ever since taking the alternate captain role, I think has stepped back from the fighting a bit. He really seems like he doesn't want to actually hurt anybody because he's a big dude. And like he really, you could just accidentally hurt somebody really bad. Personally, from watching them play for the last 2-3 years, he's going to get top line minutes. So it could be Voronkov. I'm not surprised to see Severson here. This is another thing I think Severson needs to work on is penalties are going to happen. Sometimes you should take one to stop a goal if needed. But the timing of them can be very important sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think that just, once again, trying not to bitch about him too bad, but once again, just keeping your head in the game 100% of the time, realizing that right now I need to be more safe than like I would otherwise.
Right.
Just gotta watch your stick. It's little things like that, and so I really don't want it to be Voronkov, but I could see second place being Severson.
Yeah.
What do you think?
What
What,
Veronica? Well, I guess I could see Veronica because a lot of the stuff. This has happened before. It's like he gets a penalty, and it's not. It's no player's trying to actively commit a penalty, but like when you are a bigger dude like Dmitry Voronkov, who's 6'5", 230, that sometimes you get stuff called on you that other people wouldn't get called on, and like you give a little hit, and like if you're like a dude like Voronkov who's like 6'5", 230, in your mind you're probably not thinking that I didn't hit him that hard, or I didn't bump into him that hard or slash him or something that hard, but from the outside perspective, it looks like it's actually worse than it actually is because you're a bigger dude and you impose yourself more compared to other people. Sometimes some people that are bigger don't necessarily realize how strong they actually are. And then once they pick up on that, it's fine. And then they understand how to control that and when to do it and when not to do it. And I think that is something that Voronkov is learning to do, because there's stuff that got called on him where you look at like, well, okay, yeah, that's a penalty, but it's not that bad because he's kind of a bigger dude. You got to learn how to play, and you got to know that you are stronger than you think you are. So if he did get more penalty minutes again this year, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. But at the same time, when you watch him this past season, I think he was starting to catch on to that because you didn't really see a lot of that stuff get called as the season went on, because he picked up on it, and you understand that, okay, I'm a bigger dude and I'm stronger than I actually think I am, and like I just got to learn how to use that correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hopefully, hopefully I'm wrong. I mean, I just don't foresee Matthew Olivier not being at the top again.
No.
Why not? It's expected. I'm expecting it. In fact, like if he's not, I'm gonna kind of wonder what changed. I guess if they tell him like we gotta just be concerned with just playing right now, like, but then there's those young guys on the team that still need that guy out there that will just absolutely come up to you and just ream you. But all those young guys are getting a little older now, as far as I'm aware. So let's see, 25, 26 season. Okay, well, let's look at the last one then, whatever. So last season, nobody under the age of 20 years old played for the Blue Jackets. Those two people were Denton Mateychuk, Adam Fantilli. There was 4 guys who are 21 who played for the Blue Jackets last season. Ken Johnson, 22. Putia, 23. So this season, it's slated. Now, our estimated our guess on opening night roster that we did in the previous, nobody on that roster is going to be in their first season. Nobody's there going to be under the age of 20, probably 20, possibly 21 by, Adam Fantilli turns 21 October 12th, the day before the home opener. Mateychuk turns 21 in July 12th, but he'll probably be down in Cleveland to start. But anyway, so that's something that the Blue Jackets haven't been able to say or haven't had for like the last few years. Obviously, Sillinger got brought up very young, so he was under 20, 21 for quite a while. But the Blue Jackets are not going to be the youngest team or close to the bottom of the youngest team. I think they were like third youngest in the league last year or something.
That's
And I don't think they're going to be that this year.
yeah.
And while they still have to be weary and look towards the future of the team and collect those young guys still and keep them in mind for the future, I love that. That's not what we're looking forward to. We're looking forward to now. I mean, I'm looking forward to a few years of now. Hopefully, I want Dean Everson to be able to coach there as long as possible. I want some of these players to be able to play there as long as possible. I'm a big fan of all of them. I don't want anybody to leave. Shit happens. It's a business. But when it comes down to it, it's going to be a more experienced team. There's going to be some players that have a lot more playoff experience too now. I mean, we got Charlie Coyle joining the team. I'm sure he's got some decent playoff experience. We have Lundestrom joining the team. I don't know if, and so I don't know if that Miles Woods has any experience in the play. He's 30. Where did he play before?
He was with the Devils in Colorado.
So maybe he does. I don't know what seasons he was there for in Colorado. I'm looking right now. 2023, 24. Yeah, so he has experience in the playoffs then. And so this is a good thing. I've loved seeing what Don Waddell is doing. This is how you build a winning team, not a future winning team. That is on the way out. That is in the past. Will it happen again? For sure. Guaranteed. At some point. 1, it's Ohio sports. 2, the top can't be on top forever. But anyway, enough of me rambling, enough of me just hoping the best for this next season. I think we have a couple more things. Is there anything you want to add on, like who you think is going to be the top, or of any sort of stat level, or anything about the amount of experience on the team now?
Nah, I think we've done a good job about this for now. I think we've done a good job. All right, so before we get to the hockey jersey concepts, I do want to say this, is that this is the off season for 2025 for hockey. Is going to be there. It'll be known for many things, but one of them is that it'll be known as the off season, where teams get new hockey jerseys, because every week you look, you're on Twitter or something, it's like, oh, a team got a new jersey, and it's just the truth, because it's like, okay, Detroit, they have a new jersey, which it's awesome looking, for their 100th season. And then it's like, oh, the Rangers have a new jersey for their 100th season. And then the Blackhawks have a new jersey for their 100th season. And then it's like, oh, well, the Capitals have a new third jersey. And then the Sharks are celebrating their 35th season, and they have a new jersey for that. And then it's like, well, the Minnesota Wild, they have a new jersey for their 25th season, which is just like the Blue Jackets, and it looks cool. And then you have some Blue Jackets fans on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, whatever. And some of them are like, kind of freaking out, and in my opinion, ripping on the Blue Jackets for no good reason, because like, Blue Jackets, are you going to do a jersey for your 25th season? Why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you doing it? And it's like, okay, I understand what you're getting at there. And that would be cool if the Blue Jackets did that. But at the same time, it's like, did you not just see the outdoor game that the Blue Jackets played at Ohio State this past season, which was cool, by the way, and where they got a new jersey? Like, sorry, I just don't think that you're going to get another New Jersey in the same year when you just got a new one at the outdoor game. Red Wings are the exception to that rule because it's 100 seasons in the NHL. That's different. Like, that's That's a big accomplishment. That's something that you have to have for that sort of thing. But for the Blue Jackets, it's like, yeah, 25 years, it's a big thing, but it's not as big as 100. And also, there's more than one way to celebrate 25 years in the NHL. That does not include a jersey. We've talked about this on the show, but the Blue Jackets have a really cool, patch they're going to be wearing on their jerseys. For home and away, it's the state of Ohio, the 25 numbers 25, and then the Blue Jackets logo. For the third jersey, for the Blue Jackets alternate third jersey, it's the same exact thing where it's the state of Ohio, the number's 25 on it, and then it's the third jersey Cannon logo on it. And then you look at the Blue Jackets website, they have a lot of cool stuff planned for their 25th season, where they're passing out different, cards of different Blue Jackets players from their 25 years to, looks like they're having like little, get-togethers with like at Blue Jackets games where it's like you can meet these guys that played for the Blue Jackets. They're having like a concert to kick off the season. That they're doing a bunch of stuff there. They're getting local bands to show up there and play music, and they're doing all this sort of stuff. They're doing stuff for their 25th season. You don't have to have a jersey. Also, why do you want to bring back that jersey? Let's be honest here. I know some people like it for like nostalgia reasons and stuff, but realistically, that is not a very good jersey. It's just not. The logo is awful. It is the worst logo that the Blue Jackets have. It says nothing about the Blue Jackets Civil War theme. You look at that and you don't know what that is. You go, you don't know that's the Blue Jackets. You don't know that that's their Civil War theme. Nothing. It does nothing. But like what the Blue Jackets have now, it fits perfectly with their Civil War theme because their main logo is based off of a cavalry unit flag from an Ohio regiment out of Ohio that fought for the Union Army. That's what it's based off of. And then obviously they've had the Kepi shoulder patch, the Cannon shoulder patch, Cannon logo on the third jersey, Cannon logo on the outdoor game jersey. It had the chevrons on it too, which again, another Civil War theme. And then the shoulder patch had the little belt, the belt buckle that's on the Kepis. Like again, another tribute to the Civil War theme. If you have it, that's what you want to do. You have a look, you want to be able to say, yeah, this explains our Civil War theme. That the original logo, the original jersey did not. It's awful. It's not a good jersey. The only thing I like about it is that it's blue. That it was I like the shade of blue they used back then. Other than that, no, it's not a good jersey. Why do you want to bring back that jersey? Like, no. If you want to do the whole throwback thing and bring back a jersey, then you bring back what they wore from 2003 to 2007. The original third jersey, which is it's got this logo on it, which is what they currently use, and then it's blue, and then you got your red stripe, your white stripe, and then it's the black shoulders, and it's got the stars on the sleeves, and it's got the Kepi shoulder patch. Like that says more military Civil War theme than that. And it's a good-looking jersey. If you want to bring back a jersey, that's the jersey that you bring back. Yes, the Blue Jackets kind of did that with their Reverse Retro 2 by a different take on it, where it was black, mostly black jersey with light blue sleeves from the third jersey. So they kind of already did that. But like if you wanted to throw back to a jersey that you originally wore, you do that one, where the blue with the black sleeves. It's much better. Not what, what you want to bring back. I'm sorry. It's just no. So for some of you people out there, you are just taking unnecessary shots at the Blue Jackets because they didn't do another jersey when they just had one at the outdoor game.
Yeah, and quite honestly, too, doing stuff like this, some people might not maybe understand how much goes into every little decision, even little decisions that a big corporation like the Blue Jackets organization has to do. We're not affiliated with the Blue Jackets themselves.
Right.
In the past, I've done like a little bit of artwork for them, and in that experience, I learned that what I sent them, it had to get okayed first, and then there was several ways, like the way that they paid me was very like official and everything like that, and it wasn't just like a quick like, oh, hey, thanks for that, and then immediately post or anything like that. Like, no, it had to go through certain checks and balances because they're a huge organization.
Yep.
Huge.
Yep.
And so when it comes to stuff like these jerseys and stuff like that, you really have to think about your market a lot. The market meaning like there was already a New Jersey last year and it was huge. And there's still, and why not still push that jersey? Because one, it's very unique. It's I still would like to get one at some point. But like, some people haven't had the opportunity. Some people like I'd like to get mine from the Blue Jacket store itself because I want to be able to try it on first and whatever. But so I just haven't been down there too much. Last year I went more as media, I think, than I did as a fan. So this year I'm gonna go exclusively as a fan, I think. But so anyway, my point being with all that, there's probably one already in the works for a year or two from now. They're thinking so far ahead with these things sometimes that, there's probably already one plan. Two, there's one made last year. And three, they did do something new with the jerseys. It's not like they just didn't completely do anything at all. I know some people might not look at it like this, but there's the 25th anniversary patch in that logo. Probably part of why they're pushing that more is because they don't have a new jersey. But like that makes the jerseys sold this year with that patch special for this year.
Yes.
That's the New Jersey you get. And like I said too, we're not affiliated with the Blue Jackets. We don't advertise for them or anything. We're just as critical of the organization when we feel like we should be as we are praising of it. And right now, I'm a big fan of what they're doing. I think a New Jersey would be too much. It would saturate the market of like of a fairly mid-sized to smaller market in the NHL.
And you want to talk about this, you think about right now from a jersey standpoint, the Blue Jackets are on so much positive momentum right now. As soon as this past January, as soon as they put it, the news came out that you're getting a jersey and here's what it looks like. From that point on, it is just like, wow, so much positive energy and so much positive momentum that the Blue Jackets got from that. Everyone was talking about that jersey. Everyone, not just Blue Jackets fans. Everyone was talking about it. People all over the hockey world were talking about it. Like, whoa, look at the Blue Jackets. They did this really cool jersey. That's awesome. When, I watch videos of like hockey jersey collectors on YouTube. And yes, they got the Detroit one, but 9 times out of 10, a majority of their video was spent talking about what the Blue Jackets did with their jersey. It was that good. And it's, it did well. It sold out like crazy, ridiculously good. When you were at the outdoor game, a good chunk of that crowd was wearing the Blue Jackets outdoor game jersey. I was one of those people. It's that good of a jersey. you, on the other hand, you didn't, well, yeah, there were Detroit fans there, but 9 times out of 10, they were just wearing the stereotypical red jersey. You didn't see a lot of people wearing the outdoor game jersey. Not a lot. It just, eh. So, like, you have so much positive momentum from that jersey. Even the hockey guy did a video about it, where he did a video where he has the Detroit jersey and he has the Blue Jackets jersey. And he talks about them both. He reviews them. He gives them his honest thought. And like a good chunk of that video is basically just him saying, I'm paraphrasing it, but the hockey guy's basically like, man, this is a really cool jersey. It's awesome. It's this. It's that. I like this. I like that. I like what the Blue Jackets did here. And then he gets to the Detroit jersey, and it's like, yeah, it's okay. It's a good jersey. I like this, I like that, but it's just not the same as what the Blue Jackets did. So I guess maybe what I'm trying to get at here is like, you did so well with this jersey that people love it. They think very highly of it. They think very highly of the Blue Jackets because of that. So much energy, so much positive momentum because of that. To this day, I still see comments like, oh, the Blue Jackets, they should wear that more. It was a good jersey. Or how many times on this show have we done like jersey concepts where it's basically someone takes the outdoor game jersey that the Blue Jackets had and they put their own little take on it. It's that good of a jersey. Why would you want to potentially ruin all that positive momentum with another jersey that may not go as well? Because if you did that and it didn't go very well, instead of people talking about, oh man, the Blue Jackets, oh, what an awesome jersey they have, it's like, oh, did you see what the Blue Jackets came up with? Oh yeah, it's not a very good jersey, You don't want that. You want what the Blue Jackets have right now, which is everyone is talking about you and saying, oh man, what an awesome jersey they did at the outdoor game. It was so cool, so awesome.
Yeah. And I just, what kind of jersey could they possibly release this year? Well, I'll tell you one. And it's going to be very exclusive to military members, I believe. It's
Yeah.
only going to be for the Military Appreciation Day. And that's that one jersey that looks kind of like a Civil War uniform.
Oh, banger.
That's a freaking sick one. I would love for hopefully maybe the opportunity like next year. So maybe it's exclusive for like 1 year for them or something or whatever. I would love the opportunity to buy that one. But I also understand, it is something special for some very special people. So I can deal with that. But that would be a cool one. Because otherwise, I can't really think of like what new would you want to do? There's that one from last year is so freaking like sparkling brand new still.
Yes.
Literally sparkling. It sparkles.
Right.
But yeah. Anyway,
the jersey is so good. I got 2 of them. The first one,
oh hell yeah!
like I've never done that with jerseys before, but it's like it's so good. I got 2 of them because the first one, it was just I just got a blank one, just that, and then I remember watching the Blue Jackets game against Buffalo in April. Just one day I left to go to Columbus for the game against the Capitals. And I remember just sitting there in a chair watching the Blue Jackets play against Buffalo on my computer. And I'm sitting there thinking like, I need to go get another jersey, outdoor game jersey. And this time it's going to be an Adam Fantilli jersey. And I got it and it's awesome. And I wear that jersey a lot. Like I've even, in the summertime when it's like hot out, I've gone outside and wore it. Like if I'm at the grocery store or something, I wear it because it's that good of a jersey. You have so much positive momentum right now with that. Don't ruin that by bringing back another jersey that's probably not going to go as well. You want people talking about you in a positive way, which is what they're doing right now. Oh my God, did you see what jersey that was? Oh my God, the Blue Jackets, they did an awesome jersey. It's so cool. That's what you want. Keep it that way. But
Anyway,
anyways,
we have a little bit to talk about yet because we're getting close to the end.
so on to the
Speaking of
hockey jersey
jerseys.
concepts. I have three of them to show. So first things first, we're gonna put this up on the screen. So essentially, this is where. Let's see here. North Flow Designs. North Flow Designs. They essentially have their own take on the Blue Jackets' third jersey and make a light blue jersey with kind of like the cream shoulders, and it's kind of hard to see, but there's chevrons on all three jerseys. And then instead of a white third jersey, it's like a cream third jersey with like light blue shoulders, and the striping is like dark blue with light blue. And then the other jersey is like the stereotypical dark blue, and then the red and white striping up here, and it's got chevrons on it, and it's just really cool, and I like this.
Yeah. So basically, what Kevin was saying here is that there's the two home and away jerseys are basically a modified third jersey.
Yeah.
And then the third jersey concept in this photo is a slightly modified version of the first jersey now. I'm pointing it up, but I don't know if you can really see it. I got a jersey hanging on the wall right there. And it's very similar. I'm a big fan of when they started kind of using the chevrons, because immediately when I think of that, I think rank. And it'd be cool if they could do like a special one for captains and alternates without having to put the CNA, but I get if it's like a league-wide like requirement, but it would be really neat to be able to do that. I'm a big fan of these. The light blue one's my favorite. I would wear that all year long. I'm always a big fan of the dark navy. It looks so much similar to the one now that it's pretty cool. The only thing I don't like about the away jersey is that at the very bottom of the jersey itself, around like the belt line, they have a dark blue, light blue, dark blue, light blue, dark blue stripes that go into dark blue pants. What I would like to maybe see is maybe just light blue and cream, or like maybe like the dark blue stripe in the middle and light blue on both outsides with like white in there, just to help break it up, because it makes the torso look really short. It looks like their waist is up like above their belly button almost, because of how like the dark blue kind of blends into the light blue. But once again, I'm just being really picky because I can be. So, well, like look at the stripes on the socks of look at the stripes of the socks on the main home concept jersey. I would like those stripes on the away one. But just me overall, this entire concept, I would buy any of these 100%. This is as close to a 10/10 as I've seen. I don't know if I can give it 10.
Yeah.
For the stripes, I'm going to give it 9.
All right, on to the next one. So essentially, it's just take the third jersey and make a different concept of that, and switch the colors around. And the first two jerseys have the regular logo as the shoulder patch. Overall, it's pretty good. I like this.
Yeah, I like these. The one thing that looks weird. So like the home and away are basically just red, white, and blue remakes of the third, and then the third jersey is like swapped colors. So like the main part's cream and the shoulders and whatever are dark blue. The only thing I don't like about that is on the Canon logo. If you look real close in the middle of the third jersey one, the way that the banner ends there, I really don't think. I just don't like that. It looks like lightning bolts from far away, and although they're facing outwards or whatever, I just it just looks weird to me. Maybe if it were dark blue, because when you think about it, if that part of the banner is behind it, sorry, I'm an artist, and this is the shit I think about. Make it dark blue, and then make a dark blue background. cream or something. I don't know. I'm not really the biggest fan of having a cream colored third jersey. That's just too much white for like a home third jersey. And they just don't do third away jerseys.
I think this. I am not an artist. I've never been one, and I will never be one. Drawing is not really my thing. Some people are good at it, like Hefty Duck, and that's good that people are good at it, but that'll never be me. But if I had to take a guess, just looking at some of the stuff in the Civil War, if I had to take a guess, I would assume that the person who did this, Alan.swoops.media, was going for kind of like that old timey looking Civil War look with the cream to make it look old school looking Civil War style. Because if you look at a lot of the stuff during the Civil War and historical documents, it kind of has like that old school looking, old timey feel with like the cream and all that other stuff. So if I had to take a guess, I'd probably assume that's what he's trying to go for there.
Yeah. No, I get that. I definitely kind of have to agree with that. And it's not that I dislike it. It's just I don't like it near as much as the last one. I think maybe the last one spoiled me a little bit. Overall, I really like the alternate colors of the third jersey up there. That is one thing that the Blue Jackets could do in the future. For a new third jersey, just do something fun like that with the Cannon logo. But I'll give this one a 7 out of 10. I would buy any of these. I'm hesitant on the cream color one, but what I do like, I like that there's bright white on the cream color one as well. The stripes, the bright white stripes. I do like that. I like the contrast and being able to see that little bit of a pop.
Right. So next up, we got one last hockey jersey concept. And essentially, it's let's see I gotta read who did this here. NH_sports brands. This is their take on the Blue Jackets outdoor game, and essentially, it's what the Blue Jackets were with some minor changes. Is that they don't have the bright, sparkly silver chevrons. You are essentially using like a third jersey style striping, only except instead of like the dark blue, light blue, the cream, the silver, you are making it with the red, the white, and the dark blue. And you're changing the shoulder patch to the regular logo instead of that Kepi style shoulder patch. And there's that. And let's be honest here, if Detroit wore that would have been like one of the best jerseys they've ever had, and way better than what they wore, because I like it that much. So overall, and the Blue Jackets one is good too, but overall, this is a good hockey jersey, concept here.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too terribly far off from what they ended up going with. I do like the Blue Jackets chevrons a lot. What I do like about this a lot is how classic it really feels.
Yes.
I mean, the Detroit's jersey just looks like an old school jersey. Like it just has Detroit across the front of it. And the Cannon logo, I mean, how cool would that have been if that was just the original logo from the get-go? I mean, I've unfortunately never been that big of a fan of the original logo. I like that it is there, I guess. Like they grew up from that and moved on. I like it for nostalgia purposes. I should say that. But other than that, I really like the new logos they went with. And I just don't feel like putting that original logo on like an old school style jersey would cut it. This is great. I'm a big fan. I would 100% buy the Blue Jackets one. The Detroit one is nice. I like it. It's simple, straight to the point. It doesn't feel underdone, doesn't feel overdone. With these, I have to give the Detroit one, I'm going to give it a 8.5 out of 10. And the Cannon one, I will give a 9 out of 10. I like them both a lot.
and it would have been so cool if this would have happened. Like if you had color rush, you had a blue versus red. Yeah, that just, oh god, would have been awesome. And like I said, like Detroit, you wore something like this, like dang, that would have been so cool and so much better to what you wore. Because it's again, it's like not what it's like what you wore wasn't that bad. It's just like it's average. I feel like for a team like Detroit, who has so much history about them, and they have a good jersey history, that you could have done something better with that to go with an outdoor game feel. This could have been it. And, if the Blue Jackets wore something like that, I would have been absolutely okay with that because it also has an outdoor game feel.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm pretty cool with that one.
Okay, so I said last one. I lied. My bad.
Right.
We got okay, so we reviewed those ones before, so we're not going to talk about those ones. They're good. They're good, but we're going to focus the ones on the right side of the page. So top right and bottom right.
So, wow, there's a lot going on here. I'll just try to describe a little bit of this real quick for our audio listeners. So, a lot of these jerseys have to do with that lighter blue color from
Yeah.
the third jersey.
Yeah.
And I've mentioned this before on the show that I'm not the biggest fan of the bright red right directly on, like next to the blue. So that's the first concept here on the left. We have a mostly light blue jersey with
Yeah.
white and red stripes in the sleeves and some dark blue shorts and other accents dark blue. Basically, the away jersey is just replacing the light blue with white and replacing the dark blue with light blue. I actually really prefer the away jersey on that concept. There's three concepts here total. So the other concept on the top right here, we have the original logo on the original blue color, but the shoulders are white with red chevrons below the numbers on the shoulders. Interesting. And they have a stripe on the bottom, but instead of it having a stripe going straight across, it's kind of a triangular, like points down. I don't know if I would have done that, but it just has kind of like an arrow-ish type thing going down. And then the away jersey is just the flip colors. It's white with the blue on the shoulders with the red chevrons on the sleeves. And then the other third concept is basically taking the third jersey and taking the cream out of it. And this is something that I really like. I've mentioned this a few times. I do like the current third jersey and where the cream is on it, but I like the pure white as well. So here we have. Remember, I mentioned the kind of like triangular line pointing down. The very first one is dark blue with light blue shoulders, with like a light blue and white stripes point with those kind of chevron looking thing going down on the main jersey with light blue shorts, dark blue socks, and the other one's really nice actually. There's two away jerseys here I actually really love. The other one is white with light blue stripes in the middle, doing the triangular thing, light blue shoulders, light blue pants, and so the first one was made by Burkus Circus. I've heard of them before, I believe. We've reviewed some of their jerseys before. In fact, possibly even this exact one. Chris Wilson had the second one, and Ivan Gajduko. And according to Jersey Nerds, the this is like a contest. The person who won the contest was Burkus Circus. That's the one I was talking about. The light blue with the red and white stripes on the sleeves, with the bright red up against the light blue. Personally, out of all three of these, my favorite is the one by Ivan Gajuko, the last one I read out, or described, with the pure white and the dark blue with the light blue. I'm a big fan of that one. What do you think, Kevin? Which one is your favorite? Which one's your least?
I really picked that light blue one on the left. I like it. I like the color. It's different. It's unique. It looks good. And I like it when people take a chance, because most of the time when you see jersey concepts involving the Blue Jackets, it's the stereotypical blue, red, white, which is fine because that's their colors and it looks good. But when you try something different, I like it. In this case, doing a light blue jersey. The second one, I go with this, the light blue. I'm sorry, the dark blue with the light blue shoulders, with the light blue pants.
Wow.
I mean, they're all good jerseys, but those are my top two. Is light blue jersey and then dark blue jersey with light blue shoulders.
Hell yeah. Some okay choices there.
Yeah. So we have two more. Now, these are jerseys that, well, one of them has already been worn and one will be worn this season. And these are real jerseys, not concepts, but we go with the whole hockey jersey theme.
Mhm.
Is that
Yeah. Hell yeah.
the following up on what's going on with hockey in the Big Ten, because they've had some of the Blue Jackets hockey prospects, whether that be like Michigan or Minnesota, or Michigan State with Caden Lindstrom, or Jackson Smith at Penn State, or when Carson Meyer was at Ohio State. You always like to see what's going on in the Big Ten with hockey. And I saw these jerseys that the Minnesota Golden Gophers released. It's their new home, away, and third jersey for this season. And honestly, I really like it. And my favorite is the new yellow jersey. I like that old school looking Gopher looking logo. I like the yellow, but then I like that the red is outlined in white to kind of help break it up a little bit. And then, the pants is red pants, the socks, I like that. The red is good too, not as good, but I do like it's yellow with the yellow outline and the white that will break things up, and yellow shoulders, and it's red shoulders on the top of the yellow jersey. The white's good looking too. So overall, I like this.
I'm a big fan of all these jerseys. I'm a huge fan of the Golden Gopher logo.
Yeah.
The one with the Golden Gopher, actually, like with a hockey stick.
Yeah.
That is amazing. But my favorite color combo here of all of these, what I personally would wear, I'm kind of picky about my colors
Yeah.
because I have red hair and some things just look like shit. But that maroon one with the golden M in the middle, I am a huge fan of. I like what you mentioned about the white separating the maroon red stripe there, but I like it separating the golden one here.
Yeah.
And the gold on the shoulders is nice because it's a little touch. It's not overdone. But I would 100% wear the yellow Golden Gopher jersey.
Damn right.
The white one's fine.
Yeah.
Man, I really would just love that Gopher logo on a dark maroon one, but
I know.
can't always get what you want.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm kind of tossed up here. Their away jersey, that's really nice. I'll give that a solid like 8 out of 10. Like I'm not personally gonna buy it.
No.
But the other two jerseys, damn, both 9s out of 10. I'm rating high. I'm rating high today.
Yeah.
I've been a big fan of most of these.
Yeah. And I'm going to bring this up so we can see there's a closer look at it right here. Look at that. Look at that. That's all. Look at that.
It's like smiling and stuff, and it's got the little closed eyes. That's really funny.
Helmet, the hockey stick, the puck. A little state of Minnesota right there on the collar. I like that. That's really cool.
Pretty freaking cool.
Me personally, if I had to pick one, it's the yellow one. It's just, I like that color, and I like the white outlined in the red, and I like the Minnesota's cool, but I really like you said, after Duck, I really like that Gopher logo playing hockey. Kind of that cool old school looking look. But
yeah. Anymore?
Right. This has already been used because the Ohio State women's hockey team, when they played an outdoor hockey game at Wrigley Field this past season,
that's so sick.
It was just so awesome. And I saw a glimpse. So I saw a glimpse of it. Of course, the day of the Blue Jackets outdoor game, there was the pep rally held at St. John's Arena. and OAR played there as well. And we were big Blue Jackets fans. And they went to Ohio State. And like the Blue Jackets players went onto the stage and waved to the crowd and got people fired up for the game. And we were there for the my brother and I were there. We were at the concert for a little bit. But then it's just like, oh man, how long is this going to be? Like, I don't know if I want to sit here for like an hour or two. So eventually we just get to a point. It's like, okay, let's just get up. And then we're walking, and I saw off a quick glimpse of that. They were selling those jerseys, and I saw a quick glimpse of it, and they look cool. But looking back on it, I'm kicking myself. Like, I should have went over there and looked at it and maybe go buy it when I had the chance, because I haven't seen that again, because these have sold out quickly. They're that good, because you read the comments for like when Ohio State hockey posts something, and it's like, man, those jerseys are awesome. When are you going to sell them again? Stuff like that, because it's just that good. This is easily the best hockey jersey, easily one of the best Ohio State hockey jerseys that Ohio State has ever had. I like the colors. Normally I'm pretty picky about Ohio State stuff. Like, Ohio State is red, and I want my Ohio State stuff to be red.
Scarlet and gray. Yeah.
Your colors are scarlet and gray. Like, I want Ohio State stuff 9 times out of 10 to be red. This is the exception to the rule because it's just so perfect. It's so awesome. I like the black with the red and like that kind of vintage white cream sort of thing, just like the Blue Jackets use. And the Brutus logo. Awesome. I love that logo. The O on the shoulder, the collar, but I really like the color scheme and that logo. The Brutus logo. That's awesome. I really like it. It's just one of my favorite Ohio State hockey jerseys.
Yeah, that is by far one of my favorite Brutus logos. And it kind of happens this way in the NHL too. Sometimes when there's like a black jersey, there's not too many jerseys that have black as one of their main colors.
Yeah.
And it's very stark and very contrasting to the white ice. And I am a big fan of the black jerseys. Obviously, in case you guys haven't been watching on video, I wear a lot of black. That's what I do. I wear black t-shirts 5 days out of the week, probably. I really want one of these. When I see it, I'm not sure. I think is it still currently sold out?
Probably. Ohio State women's hockey jersey. It's just, God, it's so good.
Let's see. I'm on GoBuckeyes.com. Shop BGSU. Hockey, frozen confines, outdoor. Let's see. Do they have it in large? Yeah, they have it in stock. It's $200. I mean, I get why. It's a bit expensive, but I totally get it. And I might get one for myself for Christmas then.
No, I get it. Listen, $200. Yeah, it's expensive, but I get it, and I see, yeah, that makes sense. That I could justify that. Like, yep, I get it. That makes sense. That is definitely worth $200 because it's that good of a jersey.
Yeah,
it's just that good. Anyways, last couple things here. We've talked about this on the show before, but 21 Pilots, good band from Columbus, and they're big Blue Jackets fans, and they played at the Blue Jackets outdoor game. But here we have Josh Dunn, who is the drummer of 21 Pilots, at a Blue Jackets game this past season.
Hell yeah. One of my coworkers today went to go see 21 Pilots over in Pennsylvania somewhere. So a little jealous. Would have been cool to go. She did up some of her makeup like how like the lead singer does with like the black paint and whatnot. Looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
A little jealous.
Yeah. Well, they did have a show down in Cincinnati, so that's the closest they got to Ohio. But
lately, yeah. They'll probably, do some sort of like home shows, I'm sure, at some point.
Yeah. They're usually either in Columbus, Cleveland, or Cincinnati when they do a show. One of those three cities. But let's see here. And here we have. And look, there it is. There he is. There he is at the game. You know.
That's certainly one of the choices for a jersey. They may
Yeah.
have given it matches his hair,
It
so
does.
I kind of get why he went with it.
Yeah.
So for context, out there, anyone listening, he has one of the red reverse retro jerseys from a few years ago with the old logo on it. It's literally everything I don't. You know what? I'm not gonna bitch about it. You already probably know how I feel about it, so
Yes. Yeah.
I get it. It matches his hair.
Yeah. It does. It does.
My hair is not that color red. Mine's like more of like a rusty kind of orange, strawberry blonde. So that color red next to like my hair, I rarely will do that. But looks good on him. His hair is like the bright red.
It is. So again, like I've said many times on this show, I like it when we have people that are from Columbus and they're famous and they like the Blue Jackets because that's good to see the Blue Jackets getting support and it helps get their name out there. Because we've said this time and time again, but there's so much more to Columbus than Ohio State. You have the Blue Jackets and the Crew and the Clippers, and you have German Village and Short North and North Market and the Downtown Arena District and the Columbus Zoo and so much more. There's so much going on in Columbus than just Ohio State. And when you have someone that's from Columbus and they're famous and they like the Blue Jackets, it's good to see that they support the Blue Jackets and that they're bringing attention to the Blue Jackets. That's what I like.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Well, wait. Not only that, when last October, when 21 Pilots did a concert in Columbus at Nationwide Arena, the Blue Jackets gave them a custom skate with, from one of their albums, Clancy on the skate, and 2 Blue Jackets pucks.
That's pretty sick. I've never seen this before. That's really cool.
Yellow? Yeah, because it's fire.
Cool. It's
cool.
Yeah.
When you start digging for stuff on Instagram, you find this stuff. There's that, and look, there's how they made the skate.
Oh, I didn't think about this. I thought it was like wrapped or something. This is hand painted with an airbrush. This is cool. That's really tough. I do some airbrushing myself. And wow, that makes sense with all the coloring now. I assumed it was like a vinyl wrap or something like that. Just cool. Yeah, finish this clip out for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, there it was. Was that all of it? Or oh no, there's.
Keep going.
So I'll describe a little bit what's going on. I mean, you hear me talking about him like airbrushing and stuff like that. There's a couple things that he's stenciling, a couple things that he's freehanding, and there's a lot of good freehand there. The flames he did so well. Really looked nice up close. So that's funny. So are both sides of the shoe painted? Yeah, it looks like he painted both of them. Never mind. That's hilarious. I like that little stencil maker thing he's got too. It's like a cricket or something like that, but like bigger. I'm a little jealous. I'd love to make stickers on something like that.
Yeah, really nice. Let's see here. Oh, and so they got a Blue Jackets jersey. So Clancy, that's the name of one of their albums. So
yeah,
Blue Jackets jersey, Clancy. And again, another jersey for Josh Dunn. So, you have versatility. You can wear this jersey to a Blue Jackets game besides the other one that you have. Just throwing that one out there.
Well, that's funny because it's wasn't Josh Dunn a guy who played for
Yeah,
ends?
yes, but that Josh Dunn spelled his name differently.
With 2 ends, right? Yeah. Pretty funny.
And then Joseph, as in Tyler Joseph, the lead singer for 21 Pilots, he also got, a jersey.
Oh,
So that's cool. And again, there's the other side of the skate.
oh, there's the other side. That's cool.
Yeah.
Sick.
So, all right. So there's that. Oh. So, boom. All right. So, okay. We'll take that off the screen. We have some stuff to say, and then we'll get out of here. So, first up, if you haven't already, you should like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That would be greatly appreciated. Like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please tell your family. Please tell your friends. Like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. So that would be greatly appreciated. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Do it now. There's a link on our Twitter. If you're on Twitter watching, go to our profile and you can find our link to our YouTube.
That's right. So, as I always do, just I want to give a quick shout out to my awesome Uncle Doc. Good seeing you at family parties, family get-togethers, and Christmas and Thanksgiving, Easter, and so much more. Family birthday parties, and love talking hockey with you, and just wondering how you think the Blackhawks season would go this season, and I'd share my thoughts on how I think the Blue Jackets season will go, and how I think it will go. And you became a big Blue Jackets fan because of me, your number 2 team, and you wore your favorite Blue Jackets hat that I gave you. You wore it a lot at your cooking job, and your fellow cooking coworkers loved it. Like, oh, what's that hat? It's cool. Oh, it's a Blue Jackets hat. Oh, hockey. Oh, that's cool. So, shout out to my awesome Uncle Doc. I wish you're still here so I could talk hockey with you. So, shout out to my awesome Uncle Doc. Thank you for everything.
Oh yeah, rest in peace, Uncle Doc.
Okay. Let's see. I gotta. Where is it? Where'd that go? Hang on a sec here. Where'd it go? Anything fell. All right. All right, here we go. So, go check out Union Blue Soldiers. Go check out Union Blue Soldiers. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. Follow Union Blue Soldiers on all social media platforms. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. Check out Union Blue Soldiers. And one last thing before I get out of here is I said it earlier on in the beginning of the show, but join Union Blue Soldiers for the annual March of the Union Army on Monday, October 13th, 2025, R-Bar, 6 o'clock p.m. Join Union Blue Soldiers for their annual March of the Union Army before the Blue Jackets home opener on Monday, October 13th, 2025, R-Bar, 6 o'clock p.m. And I'm going to show you a little video from just different marches that Union Blue Soldiers has had over the years. So So here we go. Here is the video as I'm going to put it up on the screen.
Oh, do you have sound with it?
No.
No sound? Right on.
Yeah. All right, I guess the sound's not coming through for whatever reason, but it's loud people chanting CBJ Let's Go Jackets. But anyways, look how fun.
Sometimes.
Yeah, it happens. But look at this. Look at this. You have a lot of fun times with your fellow Blue Jackets fans. We've been on TV. I've been on TV. Clay Hall, ABC 6 News, Ben Garabik, ABC 6 News. Stinger has showed up. Look, there's Stinger. He's shown up to some of our marches. So you never know what you're going to get when you come to the march that Union Blue Soldiers does. Maybe Stinger shows up. Maybe you're on TV. You might get some cool giveaways like a button or a flyer, some other cool memorabilia. You never know. That's just part of the fun surprise. So join Union Blue Soldiers. One last time.
Do it now.
Like, look, there's Stinger. There he is. There's Stinger right there. But or you could be on TV. So one last time. Join Union Blue Soldiers for their annual March of the Union Army on Monday, October 13th, 2025, our bar, 6:00 p.m. Join Union Blue Soldiers with your fellow Blue Jackets fans as we march on to Nationwide Arena to cheer on the Blue Jackets. That's all I have to say for now. Hefty Duck will say his stuff, and then we'll get out of here.
Well, yeah. I don't have too much to add today. Just as Kevin said multiple times, as I'm probably going to say it annoyingly some more, like and subscribe to our YouTube. That's we're really, really trying to push it right now. I would like to migrate more over to there. I like Twitter a lot, but YouTube's kind of a better platform for video. So anyway, thanks for being here, everyone. Also, don't forget to check out my stuff. I'm at, if you see my name spelled below here, it's SCHROCK. Find me at lance.schrock.tattoos on Instagram. Find me on Twitter at just Lance Schrock, just my name. Find me on TikTok now. Check us out on TikTok. I'll be trying to post like at least one little video a week for the Brew Jackets. When I get some time, especially during the season, we'll have a little bit more opportunity to maybe utilize some clips from games or something like that. So keep an eye out, follow us there, check us out everywhere. Check me out, check out my art, come get tattooed. Let's get some hockey tattoos out there. I've done a couple cool ones. Other than that, we will see you back here again next week, October 5th. Let me just say we're gonna have an announcement when the next one is, because I gotta talk to Kevin real quick. So
yeah.
But we'll be back here next week, guaranteed 100%. We will be here next week. Keep posted.
That's right.
See y'all.
Mm-hmm.